Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are going to get started. I know we have a few people, a few more people actually, about less than half people who RSVP'd are here yet. So I'm sure everyone's just going to kind of hop in a little bit late. Before I get started on the presentation, I'll introduce myself. My name is Gina. I'm one of the admissions counselors here. You probably seen me on a bunch of my Zooms here, and I'm probably tired of my voice. So I also wanted to introduce my colleague here, Derek Nagley. There he is. He's going to monitor the chat room today. So if you have questions during my session, he'll be able to answer the questions real quickly. And then afterwards, we'll have some time for Q&A. It's going to be a very kind of quick video, or I guess presentation about what exactly all that lingo is that you're going to be hearing. And I also actually have Professor Whitehead here with us. Hi, JC. Could you introduce yourself here? You are on mute, my friend.
Hi, everybody. My name is JC Whitehead. I'm a professor of sociology, director of the School of Social Sciences, and also associate dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. And I'm very excited this summer to be offering our first free summer course to incoming students. So I'm thrilled about PACU155, even though I'm obviously not thrilled about the pandemic. So at least there's going to be some extremely exciting learning and presentations that'll be going on. And I'm happy to be here to answer any of your questions. You know, just so you know, I'm also a former Pacific student, a Pacific graduate. I came to Pacific University as a freshman and graduated in 4 years. So Pacific means a lot to me as a student and as a faculty member. And I'm just excited to be in a context where I can get to know some students, some incoming students. And so I'll be happy to see you in person and say, you were in PACU155. So it's great to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. All right, everybody, we're going to get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen one more time. There is a PowerPoint presentation. It's going to be a lot of trying to follow and navigate the website here. So can everybody see this okay? Derek, can you give me a verbal yes or no if you can see my screen?
Looks good.
Awesome. So today's presentation is about the 101, and I know we have some parents and students here. Parents, we welcome you. This is more geared towards the student. This is going to be something that the students are going to have to take care of once they're here on campus on their own. So we encourage you to be here to take notes, but if your student is next to you, they should really be the ones kind of in front of the monitor and following this presentation. So the day's agenda, hopefully we'll be able to get through this fairly quickly. We really just wanted to give you a general overview about the vocabulary and some of the differences that are popping up, and we're seeing some patterns that students might be confused about. So that's what we're here to help you with. We're going to go with a welcome video that JC sent to us, so we'll get that started in just a second. We're going to talk about UIS, your email addresses, what exactly Box is, what in the world is Moodle, and the differences between the Pacific Zoom and the personal Zoom that you're using, and our Lunch with the Boxer series this Thursday as well, too. So before we get into all kind of the boring stuff that I'm going to go over, here's a video of JC, and we're going to play this here. And I'm going to hope the video is on. I know this can be a little bit tricky, so I'm going to play it. And Derek, if you could give me a confirmation on whether or not you can hear the volume, that would be great. So let's get this.
Can't hear it.
Can't hear it. All right, let's try this one more time. It might be that I have to share the video on its own. So give me 1 second. Let's see here. Perfect. I have it here. We're gonna there. This is the beauty of Zoom, right? We're trying to learn everything online here. There it is. And let's see if this will work. Share computer sound. There we go. All right, here it is.
Hello, everybody. My name is J.C. Whitehead. I'm a professor of sociology, also director of the School of Social Sciences, and associate dean in the College of Arts and Sciences. Most importantly for you, I'm the host professor for PACU155, Understanding COVID-19. Right now, I'm sitting in one of our red, whimsical rocking chairs on our bucolic Forest Grove campus, eager to welcome you this fall. But before the fall semester even starts, you get to be involved in a summer course, a free summer course at Pacific. So I'm very excited to welcome you in this way to our Pacific community. I think we can all agree that with the pandemic, there have been a number of firsts. It may be the first time you ever heard of social distancing, or the first time your dog actually got sick of you for being home for too long. It was also more devastating firsts, like the first time in this country's history where we didn't have face-to-face graduation ceremonies. Now, I think it's fair that we have some positive firsts that come out of this as well. This will be the first time in Pacific's history that we offer a free class to incoming students. And it's going to be a class that will really challenge you to think deeply and critically about one of the most important issues of our lives. So I'm so excited that you're going to be a part of it. Before we get started with the course, it's going to be important for you to know a couple of key things. One, I want you to practice using your Pacific email. This will be the main way that I communicate with you even before the class begins. Secondly, we have a Moodle site. This is our courseware that we use. Our Moodle site will be available to you Wednesday, the 20th of May. I want you to go in there and check it out before our first class on the 26th. I think you will find it's pretty cool. You'll see some descriptions of talks, as well as biographies of your professors and some of the returning Pacific students who will be leading discussions. Third, I want you to check out Zoom. You will soon, as a Pacific student, have the perk of having your own Zoom account. It's really important for the class that you use your Pacific Zoom account, even if you already have a personal Zoom account lined up. I will be loading some videos and some important pamphlets on Moodle to teach you how to use your Pacific Zoom account and some other Zoom features. So those are the details for the class. If you have any questions between now and then, you can always send me an email. Remember, this class is supposed to be fun, engaging, and intellectual. It will not hit you with any kind of busy work. The only thing you need to do is participate for every session and be ready to write a short reflection paper at the end. You've been through a lot this spring, and it's about time that you had your own treat and reward. And I can't wait to be a part of that experience on the 26th. Until then, I'll see you on Zoom and later on our beautiful campus.
So that was a little welcome video by our professor here. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up that PowerPoint one more time. And then we're going to get into the nitty gritty here. So essentially, there it is. You're going to hear the term UIS if you haven't already. UIS stands for our University Information Services. They are essentially used for help with email login, setting up your email if you haven't already done so. Once you are on campus, they'll also help out with any equipment checkout. So say you need a clicker for your group presentation, maybe your laptop is being shipped away because it's broken and someone's fixing it, and you need something to check out. We'll have all of that for you at our UIS. They're located in the basement of Marsh Hall. So I don't know if you guys can see me. Behind me is a picture of Marsh Hall. That's what the building looks like. We call it our mini Hogwarts there. And that's kind of where their office is located. And they're also known as our Technology Help Desk. So you'll hear them referred to as UIS or the Tech Help Desk. They're going to be the people to help you set up your Pacific email account if you have not already done so. You can email them at help@pacificu.edu and just let them know, hey, I'm an incoming student. I need to set up my Pacific email and I need help. And what they'll do is they'll probably send you a restarted link where you can log in and make a new login and be able to have access to that. You can also normally give them a call if they're on campus. The number to call is 503-352-1500. All of these links and phone numbers will be sent out to you guys. I think we might actually just go ahead and send out this PowerPoint to you so you'll have access to it afterwards. But that is going to be the number that you'll be reaching out to. And a general rule of thumb, all the phone numbers at Pacific start the same, and you really only need to memorize the extension right over here. So 503 is the area code, 352 is kind of the number that we use on campus, and then the last 4 digits are going to vary depending on what department or whose line you're calling. So students who call me will be calling me directly at 503-352-2841. So we all have different kind of extension numbers. So if you ever need to remember a phone number, it's always nice to know that that's the trick. You don't have to remember the first 6, just the last 4 numbers there. So that's something that you'll kind of realize once you are on campus. The next one here is what we call the PUNet ID. Now, you were asked if you know what your PUNet ID is. Some people said yes. Most people said, most people said yes. Some people said no or are having issues with it. If you are having issues logging in, email Tech Help Desk. It's going to be help@pacificu.edu. They're going to help you with your login. The tricky thing about PUNet IDs is that it's kind of random how it's assigned to you. So PUNet ID stands for Pacific University Network Identification. So this is your network identity. So that's going to be your login information for your website into all Pacific University resources. Generally, it's going to be the first 4 letters of your last name with 4 random numbers that follow with it. So, for example, my last name is Lee, so it's just 3 letters, Lee 2694, random numbers. Derek, my colleague, his is NAG 0048. And so that is also going to be what your Pacific email address is. So my Pacific email address is lee2695@pacificu.edu. And here's the thing, guys. Pacific.edu is not us. That is a whole other university located in California. We get a lot of, confusion with students there. We have emails that come to us that's meant for the other university. We've had students show up on our campus on move-in day thinking they applied to our school when they accidentally applied to the wrong school. And the biggest difference is going to be that last U at the end there. So we are pacificu.edu. Your email will also be your last name, the numbers at pacificu.edu. So a lot of you guys, when I sent out the invite to this session, many emails bounced back, and I want to say about 95% of it was because we left out the U after the Pacific. So make sure to add pacificu.edu. That is going to be your email address. So essentially, your Pacific email address is going to be almost the only communication that the rest of campus is going to do with you. As an applicant, we at the admissions office had the information for your personal email that you've applied with, and that's what we've been communicating with you through. Now that you are officially a student, you will be communicated through with the other department via your Pacific email address. So I'm going to emphasize again, make sure you are checking your Pacific email every day, multiple times a day if needed. It's always good to have it on your phone so you get a notification if an email pops up, because this is where your professors are going to start reaching out to you at. So Pacific email address is very, very important. You need to set this up for this class that's coming in. So, but I believe most of our students do have their email address set up, so you guys should be good to go. You cannot change your assigned PUNet ID, but you can change your short address once it's set up. So, for example, what does that mean is Lee2695@pacificu.edu is not the easiest email address to remember, especially if I'm telling a stranger what my email address is. So I actually changed it to Glee because And I did ask my colleagues if this was okay. My first name is Gina, so I use the first initial of my name, and I use my last name. So glee@pacificu.edu is the email that I sent out. And so students and parents who email me at the glee@pacificu.edu will be emailing it to me, and I'll be getting it through the Lee 2695. So this is pretty much a short email address that you can change. Same thing with my colleague, Derek. Nagley is not the easiest last name to remember, so he just wrote Derek N, which is a lot easier to remember. How to change your PUNet ID or your short, sorry, not your PUNet ID, how to change your short address once it is set up. It's fairly simple. If you go to our Pacific website, again, it's pacificu.edu. You want to go ahead and in the corner, there's a little button that says My Pacific. This is going to be your login to some of the resources on campus, most of the resources that you'll be using as a student here. Now, the address, you can either go to pacificu.edu and then click on My Pacific on top, or you can just type in pacificu.edu/mypacific, and it's going to take you to this login page. So I'm actually going to walk you guys through it to the login page. We'll wait for this to pop up here. And I'm pretty sure I logged out so we can show it. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. And then you're going to get this website that pops up. It's a single.
Gina, we're still looking at the PowerPoint.
Oh, you can't see my screen. Thank you. Let me go ahead and change my screen. And we'll do it screen 2. Let's see. How does that look?
Perfect.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. So that's the screen that you're going to be looking at. So I'm going to go back real quick. That's what that login looks like when you hit My Pacific. You're going to hit login, and that's going to pop up, and it's going to say authentication required. This is also known as a single sign-on, so you'll see SSO. So your PUNet ID, that's going to be that random 4 letters, or sorry, the first 4 letters of your last name and then the random numbers that you're assigned your PUNet ID. And then you're going to have to input in your password. This is everyone's favorite part on campus because the password has to be something crazy like 14 letters with numbers, and you have to change it every year. So this is going to be what it looks like when you log in. And so this is what we call would be like a dashboard for yourself. As a faculty member or a staff member, it's going to look a little bit different, but not too different from what you guys would be able to have access to. So we're going to start off with email. You can use the Outlook email, or you can use the Gmail to log into your Pacific email account. You can also log in through the website. So I have the app on my phone, and I have it all set up. I have Microsoft Outlook set up on my laptop. But if you don't want to set up a new kind of program on your computer, you can just go ahead and log in through our website, and this is how you're going to do it. So you can hit email, and that'll bring up the Outlook application. You're gonna have to sign in to your account like a million times. So you'll get used to signing in again. So I'm just gonna sign into my email. This is the Outlook webpage, and then you can see what so I'm gonna X out of that. So that's how you're gonna check your Pacific email. Boxer Online, this is where you can go if you want to change that short address to your email. Rather than doing Lee 2695, I'm doing Glee. So what I did, you have to log in again. So again, a lot of fun. You guys can watch me do this here. I got it right. So nope, I did not type that in right. I'm gonna try it one more time. And I am logged in. I should be logged in. Give it a minute here. There it is. All right. So welcome, Gina. So I can see that I am logged in. I can go to mail on top. And oops, let me double check. Pretty sure it was mail. It might be my account. Same thing. All right. Services. Come on. Where did I go here? I think I might have gone to my profile. There it is. So you go into your profile here, email address, and you can change what you want your short address to be, and they'll try to put in everything on there. So I'll give you guys time later on, or not give you guys time. You guys can go back to it later on to view how to change that short email address. So you can change it so it's a little bit easier for you to remember, but that's how you're gonna do it. So that's going to be changing your email address. The next thing I wanted to talk about was Moodle. So you heard us talk about Moodle. It's essentially your sign-in account. So this signed me in automatically. Before, when I tested it out, it did ask me to sign in my, put in my login information again. So a million steps to log in, and that's just to make sure the cybersecurity is there. This is your dashboard. This is where any online information about your classes will be posted. And so how that's going to look this fall, again, we'll let you know as soon as we find out. But for the summer class, the PACU155 class, it's going to be online. So Moodle is where you'll be logging in to find out course information. JC in the video talked about signing into Moodle. You can kind of get to know some of the students and the professor profiles. If you go to my courses, it usually pops up here. And I had it set up so the PACU155 class was popping up, and it looks like it might have just disappeared. Let me see if I can. It was right over here. Generally, we're gonna go ahead and see if I can go to the site home. Nope, let's do professor's name. Not popping up.
You want me to show it to him, Gina?
Actually, that would be great. It was here and it's not here. So I'm going to stop by Sharon. If you can share your screen and maybe show them where the Moodle, what the course looks like, that would be great.
All right, we'll do. Okay, which screen are you seeing right now, Gina?
I am seeing your dashboard. Yep, I see your mouse.
All right, so here's my dashboard, and you see here it says Pacific PACU155, Understanding COVID-19. So it's hidden from students right now because I'm still making a few edits, so you get a sneak preview. So if you click on that, it'll take you to this page. And in this page, if in the top here, you're going to have access to our Zoom link. So every week for our sessions, we're going to have the same Zoom link, and that information will be here. And then you can find announcements about the class. There will be a section here for student Q&A. So if you have any questions, that'll go directly to me. And then in the students toolbox here, you'll have access to links and tutorials that will help you with the Zoom and with Moodle. Dr. Jim Moore is the first lecture in our series, and so you will find information about him here. What you have listed under here are student discussion leaders, and if you click on their names, you can learn more information about those student discussion leaders. And then you can kind of thumb through and learn more about them. So that just gives you an idea of what's on the site and how it will be a roadmap for you. Soon, I will have posted the syllabus on here, and that's going to be right under here in this area. But all the information that you're going to need to know to prepare you for class is on this main page.
Awesome, thank you. And let me pull up my screen one more time here. That was very helpful. I'm glad you're here for that.
Sure.
So there it is. All right. So logging into Moodle, again, you're just going to go ahead and click on Moodle once you're in the My Pacific webpage. The next one I wanted to talk about was Box. You're going to hear a lot about Box, and this is kind of like our online storage. And essentially, this is pretty much your it's kind of like cloud, your storage that you can access without having like a USB drive. I don't even know if people use thumb drives anymore. But it's, you click on Box. Again, it's going to ask you for a login. The great thing with Box, though, is essentially the security on this, I am told, is government level security. So any important information with sensitive information is going to be on Box. Now, with that said, a lot of students prefer to use Google Doc, Google Videos, or Google Forms only because it is easier to access. And the one downside with Box is that, say I shared a file with my colleague Derek, and I opened the file and he opened the file at the same time, it's going to save 2 different copies. And so I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of our students prefer to use Google as kind of their cloud and shared files, which we absolutely understand. We were in that same boat as well too. But the Box folder is really where you're going to have a little bit more of the sensitive information to share with each other, and you already have the data cloud on there, so you don't have to pay extra if you went over the storage, so you should be all set. So you'll hear people saying, oh, it's on the Box folder. That's what Box is. It's our online storage with really good security, cybersecurity on there. So less likelihood for that information to get hacked and out to the world that you don't want out there. So those are kind of going to be the 4 main things that you'll be using as a student when you are at Pacific. Once again, it's going to be pacificu.edu /mypacific, or just hitting on My Pacific at the corner there. And then that'll go ahead and bring up this site here, and then you'll have access to it all. And once JC is done editing that on the Moodle, you should be able to explore a little bit of the class there, and you'll get some information. Derek, do you see my new PowerPoint? Oops. Do you see the PowerPoint again by chance where it says Zoom on top?
Yes, you're back on your PowerPoint.
All right, so Zoom. The video, JC talked a little bit about personal Zoom versus Pacific Zoom. They are going to be 2 separate accounts. To log into your Pacific Zoom, you want to go to www.pacificu.zoom.us. And the page is going to look like this picture on the side here with the boxer head. It says Pacific University Zoom on there, and you're going to sign in to your Zoom account via this link right over here. And again, I'll make sure that you guys get the link so you have information. But you'll click on that, and then it'll take you to that login site, and that's going to be your Pacific Zoom. The functions for you will likely not vary. It'll probably look the same, but for you to get started for the class, you will need to be at your Pacific Zoom account. So make sure that you play around with it. If you have time to log into it to see if it works, I highly recommend it. And if you don't have anyone that you can practice this session with, I'm going to put in a little plug for our admitted student game night. So on Friday, this evening at 6 o'clock, we're just going to hang out and play games. We played Pictionary and categories last week, and it was a lot of fun, and it was via Zoom. You can just go ahead and click on the link to the web page, and you can register to come to the one session if you want to, or you can come to both sessions. It's the student kind of game night, and we're just literally just hanging out and having fun. So you can practice getting onto Zoom via your Zoom session if you want to by coming into our admitted student game night, and that'll be kind of like a little precursor of what to expect when you're logging in through Zoom before your class on Tuesday. You should also received an email this morning. So we sent out an email, and the subject line was PACU155, message from JC Whitehead, and it was sent by our communications person, Michelle Charles. She also goes by Shelly. But all those links that I told you that I was going to give you, you already received it. Yay. So if you've looked at your email, great, and you're clicking through, even better. You can see the Zoom features here. The Moodle site link is right over here. And then our tech help desk, Brian, he actually put together a very, very helpful video about how to log in, how to set up all of that. And it's very informative. It's very step-by-step. So I encourage you to watch this video too. I know I kind of am just kind of flying through all of this, and I feel like I'm kind of word vomiting onto you guys here, but this is a video here that'll give you some step-by-step instructions on how to get all of that done. And then, again, if you need help afterwards, go ahead and email help@pacificu.edu. That's the department that Brian, the guy who's showing us this video here, is a part of. And so he'll be able to answer any questions that you have. Check your email, make sure you have it. If you haven't received this email, I would highly recommend checking your junk mail folder. And that way, a lot of it does get sent to trash, and unfortunately, it gets marked as spam. So I would check your spam folder if you haven't received it yet. Again, it's sent from Shelly Charles, and it should be in there. This Thursday, so I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, every Thursday we've had what we call a lunch with a boxer series. Essentially, we'll bring in somebody from different departments to come come to the session and talk a little bit about the program that they're involved in and have a Q&A session. Registration is also, all of those sessions are set up already. You can go to our registration website to sign in for it, and your counselors should also be emailing it to you guys as well. We'll also send out the recorded sessions afterwards to all parents and students, and that gets sent via the admissions email. So check your email. That also goes to spam for a lot of families as well. So that should be in there. This Thursday happens to be lunch with a boxer with JC. So she has been gracious enough to step in here and show us the Moodle website. We have a full hour with her tomorrow at noon. So please register to come and just learn about a little bit more about the social sciences department as well too. That covers psychology, sociology, some of the great topics that we have at Pacific, and that she'll be able to answer some of those questions and talk a little bit about the program for the summer writing classes. So that's pretty much what this session was going to be for. It was just to kind of touch base with you guys so you guys all understood exactly what all of this lingo is. So now you know what Moodle is. Everybody knows what your PUNet ID is, and if you haven't set that up, that you should be setting that up soon. And what your Pacific Zoom account is versus your personal Zoom account. We talked a little bit about Box and the storage, and so that should kind of give you a good foundation. So when you start exploring some of these things, all this wording and all these vocabulary is going to help you guys. So I can see that there was a lot of
Gina, was the email from Shelly, the one that you just said was sent out today, did that go to their personal emails or did that go to their Pacific emails?
My understanding is it should have gone out to both. The confirmation email, for example, I emailed everybody the confirmation email for this session, and I can tell you about 2/3 of the emails that was sent to the Pacific email was returned to me because it was input wrong. Again, a lot of people put at pacific.edu. And so that's probably the reason why if you don't see it at your Pacific email account was because when the registration happened, the incorrect email was input. So check both emails. If you don't have that email, we'll make sure to send it to you guys again and that you guys have that information. But I know that was sent out this morning. So it should be in your inbox. Derek, anything else?
Nope, that was the big question. If you guys didn't get the email, just email me, DerekN@pacificu.edu, and just say I didn't get it in either of my email addresses, and we will resend it to you guys.
Yes, and we'll also follow up with a video recording of this, so that way you guys can, look back on it again if you need to. But that's Derek's email address. This is my email address. We're here to help you guys, so feel free to email us if you haven't received it, and we'll make sure that you get that email. And I'll double check with Shelly, but I'm pretty sure it was sent out to both personal and specific email. So I would check your spam filter one more time. But other than that, I am more than happy to take any questions. Looks like JC's still here, so I'm sure JC can answer some questions as well too. So Derek, if you don't mind kind of going through any questions that pop up, would you be able to read them out loud to us?
It was that same email over and over.
Okay, perfect. Any other questions that you guys have? Feel free to go ahead and stick it in the chat room here. We'll hang out for a few minutes to answer those questions.
One other thing, guys, just to know is those last 4 digits on your PUNet ID actually aren't random numbers. Gina doesn't know this because she wasn't a student there, but that's actually the last 4 digits of your Pacific ID number, which will also come up throughout the years. So you've gotten that in a couple of emails. You'll need it when you're signing up for like housing or when you need to sign up for your financial aid each year. So you'll want to memorize that number. I know it's more digits you have to remember, but it will also help because you've already got 4 of them memorized as part of your PUNet ID.
And once you're on campus, you should be getting your student ID card as well, and that number is on there. So I'm glad I brought you in, Derek. This is one of the reasons why I was like, I didn't go to Pacific as a student, so I don't know kind of the ins and outs of this. So thank you, Derek, for pointing that out to me. Any questions or maybe last minute thoughts, JC, if you had any that you wanted to add in, if you do?
Yeah, I'm just curious, if all the participants who are on this call right now are enrolled in PACU155. And if you have any questions at all about the class, I'm here, so I'm happy to answer any of those questions that you might have.
Yeah, so we sent out this invite to the students that have been enrolled. So these are your students. They're in the class, and you'll be on Tuesday.
Great. So I see a question here about what materials are you going to need. That's one of the nice things about this class is that you don't need any materials. And in fact, all of the materials that you're going to need will be delivered over Zoom. If the faculty decide that they want you to see something special, then I will put that on the Moodle page so that you'll have access to it.
A couple more. You mentioned that there's only one assignment, reflective essay. What's that going to look like?
Good question. So it's going to be an essay that asks you to take a look at more than one talk and really explore, your own critical thinking around those talks. It's going to be from the perspective of, summarizing and sort of piecing together some thoughts that you have after hearing the lectures. Once you have access to the Moodle page, if you scroll all the way down the page, there's a short description of what the assignment is.
Any other questions that you guys have popping up?
Yeah, so there's nothing except that one tiny paper assignment that you have at the end. But really, it's supposed to be fun. I would say the one thing I'm really looking forward to are the breakout rooms that you're going to have with the student discussion leaders. So just so you all know, I had a meeting with all of them last night, and we just went over, and getting excited about how we're going to do breakout rooms and what the discussions are going to be like. And they're thrilled to meet you. These are students who are either going to be seniors. There's a couple who are going to be juniors, and some of them who have just graduated. So, they had an end of the semester, as we all did, that was really weird because we went online. And they're used to having more interaction with incoming class and getting to know who they are. So yeah, they're eager to meet you. And so I think you're going to have fun in those discussion groups.
Absolutely. Thank you. So yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm actually really jealous. I wish I was taking the class as well too. And I know several of my staff have also said the same thing. So it doesn't look like we have too many questions popping up. Again,
There is one, sorry, Gina, there is one that keeps coming up. JC, when will the Moodle site be up and ready for them to check out?
It's going to be ready tonight. So I'm looking at probably 10 o'clock.
Awesome.
We're giving her a deadline now.
That's good. Deadlines are good.
Awesome. And in the chat box here, I'm going to go ahead and input in the link to the admissions event again this Thursday, which is tomorrow at noon. JC is going to be joining us here to talk a little bit about the department that she's the director of, as well as answer some additional questions that you guys might have about the summer class. But other than that, any other questions? It doesn't look like I have. I see.
There is one other one that pops up. If you guys don't know your student ID number or you want to know it for something, you can email your counselor, or again, Gina and I can look it up and get that to you as well.
Yes. So email your counselors. We're here. I know we're admissions counselors and admissions is over with, but we are kind of your go-to people for the next 4 years, actually. I have families and students emailing us for resources. So we don't really go away, unfortunately, for you guys. You guys are kind of stuck with us for the next 4 years as well. So feel free to reach out to us. But thank you so much for joining us. And thank you again, JC, for hopping in here to help. And hopefully the vocabulary and all of that helped. I know it was kind of being thrown around in all the emails that we've been sending out. So hopefully this cleared things up for you. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We'll with this recording as well as the PowerPoint. And then for those of you who didn't get that initial email, go ahead and let us know, and Derek and I will resend those out to you guys, all right? Perfect. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Have a good night. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah.
Thanks, Derek.
See you next week.